Hello, good day everyone. How is everyone doing? So let's see the tropical update for the Atlantic. So because we have some big signs that something might develop in the Caribbean next week. So we now have the remnants of Gordon there. Uh, Showers and thunderstorms associated with the remnants of Gordon. These systems forecast to interact with known tropical low to its northwest, moving northeast toward 10 to 10, 5 to 10 miles per hour during the next couple of days. My mental condition could become more conductive for development later this week, and a tropical depression could or storm could reform next few days while it moves slowly northward in subtropical Atlantic. So 60% already that the remnants of Gordon will reform there. And then there's this guy in the northwestern Caribbean. Shows a broad area of low pressure could form late this weekend or early next week. Northwestern Caribbean Sea thereafter. Some slow development of the systems possible. Middle part of next week will move slowly northwestward over the northwestern Caribbean and southeastern Gulf of Mexico. So 0 and 20% chance already. So we are closely monitoring this because many models that we've seen are showing this develop there. So let's see here some stuff. So the Eastern Pacific still kind of quiet, and here's the remnants of Gordon. It shows it dissipated, but some models might reform this and kind of head towards Europe, the remnants or something. And some models have this going back to a tropical storm, even a hurricane there. So we better watch this down the road. And let's see the models. There's the 12Z GFS. It shows Gordon there trying to reform and going north there into the Atlantic. And let's see. So it picks up the gyre there. So there's the big gyre. It starts putting a lot of heavy rain over Central America, especially in Honduras, Nicaragua, Belize. So a lot of heavy rain. Then it gets the moisture into the Caribbean, starts forming into something there. And then it goes towards the Yucatan, and it goes like towards Florida and Alabama. Especially Florida is a weak hurricane. So the GFS still show like a weak hurricane going towards Florida, and then going off the coast and strengthening there, and potentially going towards Atlantic Canada. But it's like October 1st there, so this is like 2 weeks out. So we can't trust much of this yet. The GFS also picking up a new system main development region by the 26th and going north into the Atlantic. So I don't trust that very much either, but we never know. And it shows in the Eastern Pacific something forming there. So the 6Z GFS had a similar thing. It showed the gyre there forms up, starts forming something in the Caribbean by the 25th, and then it goes up north into Florida by the 26th there as a high-end tropical storm or low-end hurricane. And the 0Z GFS had like, let's see here, he had Gordon there, kind of interacting with the other area, then trying to re-strengthen, and shows it getting down all the way into like a tropical storm again and dissipating there. Then it has the other system forming there, and it has like going to the same area of Florida along the west coast. There's a little bit stronger hurricane there into Florida between the 26th and the 27th. Then it goes away there. And the GFS, the 0Z was also picking up the crazy system from Africa and unleashing it north into the Atlantic. So we watch that too, because there's a lot of dry air there, so not very favorable for development. But the Canadian is still showing the development for a couple of days, so it starts picking up a system from Honduras by the 23rd, turns into a tropical storm there, and the Canadian brings like a hurricane to Mississippi, kind of Louisiana and Alabama by the 26th. Then it goes there and becomes a big front. And this is the 12Z. The 0Z Canadian had like the system takes a little bit longer to form, but eventually forms and goes towards the Florida Panhandle there. So this was the 0Z Canadian. The 12Z from yesterday also had something gradually forming there and heading towards Florida as well. It's a bigger hurricane. So the Canadian has been constantly showing development with this. So let's see, the icon shows Gordon there and shows like the gyre starts forming a lot of heavy rain all around Central America, but it kind of goes towards the Yucatan and the Gulf there. It goes like there, but the run ends. But the icon also is developing this and developing something on the Pacific side as well. And the 0Z icon had like a broad system in the Gulf on the 25th there. So we watch this. The Navgen has like, let's see, kind of a gyre there, but it still doesn't form anything because it only goes out to the 23rd. Let's see if the 0Z goes out further. So by the 23rd it starts picking up a low pressure there, but it takes a while to form. So the Navgen is not very excited. Let's see this model here if it can show something. I think it's the Japan model. Shows like it only goes until the 21st. So let's see. Yes, it only goes until the 21st, but starts picking up like some low pressures there around Central America, but not showing anything crazy. Let's see, like height anomaly still isn't showing anything. So, and the European has like, let's see, the 60 has like the rainstorms there, and then the 60 doesn't go very far out. So the 0Z had like, it goes like the 25th a week system of the southwestern Gulf. So the Europeans more inclined to the southwestern Gulf there, not as much like Florida and Alabama. The Europeans show like southwestern Gulf. The 12Z European from yesterday, and here, so let's see, the 12Z shows like it starts like developing more rain there, and then it starts picking up a low pressure by the Yucatan on the 25th, kind of unleashes some moisture towards Florida, but the actual system goes into the southwestern Gulf, forms something on the Pacific too. So I think the main threat, in my opinion, is the heavy rains that this will leave in Central America, just the gyre itself. In southern Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, and all of those areas, because this has a medium to high chance of forming going towards Florida or something, but for now it's kind of unsure yet. So the immediate threat is the heavy rains this will cause in Central America in the days like after the 21st, especially the 22nd to 23rd of September and onward on the 24th, 25th as well. So if you are there, pay attention to this. But let's see, like the 0Z from yesterday had like a system trying to form in the Gulf, maybe towards Florida by the 27th, and yeah, something to watch for sure. The GFS and the Canadian are like going crazy without the runs, but the European still like on the low side, but we better keep watching. So let's see, there's the moisture, there's still some dry air in the Caribbean, but it does show there like some more dry air in the Gulf on the 19th, the 20th, but the moisture starts building there. You can see it kind of gets rid of the dry air as it goes into the Gulf. So let's see, the wind shear shows like, let's put the 0Z today, shows like by the 21st still some wind shear there from a trough, and then by the 24th the system starts forming lower wind shear around the gyre where it's at, but it's still shows like wind shear in the US there. So this might try to fight it off. And the GFS, just for comparison, has like, let's see, the 22nd, still some wind shear there, but then it starts forming. There's a bunch of shear around it, maybe some outflow, but it manages to form there and go towards Florida. So we'll keep watching this. But if you are there during Florida and others, just pay attention, especially in Jamaica, in the Cayman Islands, and in Cuba, as this brings some very heavy rain after the 22nd when it starts forming. So let's see here. This is the UK model. The UK model starts picking up like a low pressure in the southwestern Gulf near the Yucatan and not in the Pacific. So it starts like picking up a low pressure, but still no crazy system, just maybe where the European was showing too. So we'll keep watching this, and the ensembles are also interesting. So the European has like a little more support today. This is the 0Z. It shows like some more tropical storm members there, tropical depression around the Yucatan and the Gulf, especially around Florida. So better watch. There's a little more support, a lot of support on the Eastern Pacific as well, and something many people aren't talking about because everyone's focused on this is the coast of Africa. There, 2 runs of the GFS had a big hurricane coming out of there and heading out into the Atlantic. So if this forms, you just go out into the Atlantic. So I don't think the Caribbean should worry about this, but there's a huge amount of support from the European model for something to form there around the 28th or something. So we'll keep watching this. And the GFS has, let's see, has a lot of support for the system, the gyre there. So some members go towards Cuba, some towards Alabama, Louisiana, but most go towards Florida, even the Bahamas. So there are some stronger members there, like tropical storm, hurricane, and definitely something to watch. There's a lot of support for something to form there on the Eastern Pacific as well, and the GFS is also showing a lot of support near the coast of Africa for something to form there. So we'll keep watching too. Now let's go back to some ensembles from the Canadian maybe. So let's see here, GPS. Here, wait. Where's the North Atlantic? So the Canadian ensembles, it shows like, wait. Shows like on the 22nd, starts picking up some signs there around Honduras, the Cayman Islands, many areas. Then by the 25th, a lot of members showing robust development there. Most go towards Cuba and Florida. Some go towards Alabama, and even some on the Western Gulf later. But the Canadian has a lot of support too for something forming there, so definitely something to watch. It has some support for the system in Africa, like on the 30th, it has something, but not as much support as it has there. So we'll keep watching this. There's the European too, shows like, let's see, the 0Z, wait, had some members started to show something there, some stronger members near the Yucatan, some towards Florida and the southwestern Gulf there. And then it has those members coming off of Africa on the 26th and trying to form something there and heading out. So be aware. And the GFS has like, it starts forming there on the 24th, shows a lot of members heading towards Florida, some on the Western Gulf, and then it has a bunch of members forming in Africa there, going out into the Atlantic there. So something to watch as well. So please be aware they're in Cuba, Florida, and all of those areas because of the heavy rains. Even if this doesn't develop, there'll be a lot of heavy rain there. So be aware. And the tropical storm probabilities from the European, there's Gordon, the remnants, and then it still shows like a 20% chance of it forming back to a storm, and only some slight chances, and then it dissipates there. But later with that system off of Africa, so this is like the 27th, starts becoming some 30% tropical storm probabilities there. By the 28th, like some 40%, and even some 50% tropical storm probabilities in the central main development region there because of this. And then this keeps going there. And then there in the gyre, it shows like by the 25th, a very low 5% probability. By the 26th, some 10%. about some 20 to 30% there around the Yucatan on the 27th, and the area grows a little bit there. And the coastal Mexico and the Eastern Pacific should watch this too. These are the tropical storm probabilities. So there's also the hurricane probabilities. I doubt there's any, but let's see. It shows like 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 27th. It shows a slight hurricane probability on the 28th, but that's like 5% hurricane probabilities on the 30th there. So that's very low. But tropical depression probabilities, there's Gordon there, the remnants of Gordon. And then let's see, might try to form again. And then by the 23rd, area has like some 30 to 4% tropical depression probabilities, like near Honduras and near Mexico on the Atlantic and the Pacific. It goes to like 40 to 50% in the Eastern, the Central Caribbean, and like Western Caribbean. And then it keeps going there, some 60% on the Eastern Pacific, and it keeps going there, like some 40 to 50% tropical depression probabilities around the Yucatan, like some 50%. An earlier run from today had like 60% chance there of a tropical depression by the 27th. Then this keeps going there. And the coast of Africa, it has like by the 25th, some signals come off of Africa, and it quickly jumps to like 80% chance of development there of a tropical depression. And then it jumps to like 100% chance of a tropical depression by the Cabo Verdes on the 27th. It's still high 90% chance there by the 28th, and it keeps going like 70% chance and goes out into the Atlantic. So we gotta watch that as well. And the tropical storm strike probabilities has like 5 to 10% tropical storm strike probabilities this week and next week throughout Florida and the southeast and out there in the Atlantic. And the week after, still some in the Yucatan and around Florida, in Mexico, and generally out there in the Atlantic. So we better watch as well. So be aware, stay safe, and let's see. And meanwhile, there's still a lot of showers and storms affecting many areas these next 2 days, especially Central America, the Caribbean. There are a bunch of flash flood warnings and watches in Barbados there, in all areas. So be aware. This is Friday, the 20th, then the gyre starts building. It shows more heavy rain concentrated around Honduras, Nicaragua on the 23rd, and it's continuing there, especially like on the 23rd, 24th, some very heavy rain there, so gotta watch in Central America. And then in Cuba and Florida, some afternoon storms too. Then as this starts forming, shows heavy rain around the Cayman Islands, near Jamaica and those areas, so better watch as well. So rain accumulation just at the next 3 days, until like 2 days and 22 hours, until Saturday show like more in Nicaragua, Honduras, close to 61 millimeters, 50 millimeters, let's see, 48 millimeters, might be heavier parts of Guatemala, southern Mexico, and especially like northern Mexico dried up already, but this southwestern areas of Mexico might have still more heavier storms. In eastern Mexico too, in the Yucatan, some more storms. In Cuba there, like some 57 millimeters. Might be more storms in Cuba and the Bahamas, so be aware of passing showers and storms from time to time, and heavier near Honduras and Guatemala. Some rain in Belize as well, and some more in Panama, 30 millimeters, 60 millimeters, so be aware in those areas. Might be some heavier storms from time to time. And then let's see, if I put this until the end, the European model is already showing like in the Cabo Verde more than 200 millimeters in the next 10 days from that potential system forming off of Africa. So it's still like 7 to 10 days out, and these model runs will change a billion times, but if you are there, just keep watching this. And let's see in the Caribbean. So let's see the next 5 days in Central America until Monday the 23rd. It shows like 129 millimeters around Monday. In Mexico, Guatemala, some heavier thunderstorms for other areas of Guatemala, Belize too, especially El Salvador and Nicaragua there, and Honduras, especially more than 138 millimeters. Next 5 days, Costa Rica too, so be aware there. And then in Jamaica, Cuba, especially these islands of Cuba there, more than 100 millimeters. So be aware. Next 5 days on the Caribbean, still around Trinidad and Tobago, some 11 millimeters. Might be some more storms near St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada. Might have some more passing showers, maybe a storm or two, especially in Puerto Rico. Some more storms in the Dominican Republic. So be aware there. And if I put this until the end, like next 8 days, so like 300 millimeters in southern Honduras, 300 in El Salvador, 300 for Guatemala and Mexico. But this like a long time. Let's just put this to like 7 days. 7 days. Next 7 days shows a lot in El Salvador and Honduras from this gyre. So dangerous system in terms of rainfall there. So please be on alert there for rainfall and everything. The GFS is also more than 300 millimeters in El Salvador in the next 7 days. Guatemala, so it might get very heavy there as it passes through Cuba, more than 100 millimeters as well. And then the icon has like, the icon's really crazy. Shows like 370 millimeters, 339 millimeters in many areas in the next 7 days. So please be aware as that gyre forms there and more storms in other areas. So stay safe there, be aware. And let's see something here with the GFS. If I put this to the next 9 days, the GFS is also showing some in the Cabo Verde from that system, but not as much as the European is. So we'll keep watching that as well. And something interesting to see here is the Global Tropics Outlook. They have a 60% chance or higher of a tropical cyclone forming in that area in the northwestern Caribbean. So that's a very high chance for them to use on this map. So they have some high confidence that something might form in the main development region as well, because of the stuff from Africa there. So we better watch the Eastern Pacific too. And week 3, still some stuff from the Atlantic and Eastern Pacific to watch, and across some other areas. So please be aware there. And let's see. There's this interesting stuff here. The Tropical Cyclone Genesis Index shows like the remnants of Gordon there, so some probabilities of formation. And here, let's see, there's the vorticity associated with Gordon and some other low pressures there. And currently the wind shear is low on the southern Caribbean, but still high in parts of the Gulf, and low in parts of the Atlantic, but high near where Gordon is. So, but this will change. And on the Eastern Pacific as well, still a little bit high wind shear, but as that gyre forms, it might get lower. So this mainly it. Be aware there, monitor this and stay safe.